This video is to show you how to master the GV640 front panel gauge. In certain events, the gauge computer will request that you go ahead and a zero-in operation must be carried out. When you see this come up on the screen, we need to go ahead and place the master into the gauge and zero the gauge to the master. The master is located underneath the gauge. Open up the doors completely, grab the gauge by the handhold and pull out until you can see the two other handles and remove the gauge fully. We are then going to take the gauge and set it on to the slides, and then we're going to tip the gauge just slightly at an angle slightly above horizontal, and then put the gauge, slide the gauge in until it locks into the gauge with the magnets that are on the front of the master. We're then going to go ahead and we're going to ensure that all three buttons are in good contact with the master. Once we see that that is true, we'll go ahead and engage the two rear steady rests. Then we'll go ahead and start the zeroing operation by hitting the zeroing button. When we hit the zeroing button, we're going to get how many steps there are, which in this case we have 1 of 15 steps. And then for each step, there's going to be instructions. So follow the instructions. We're going to go ahead and insert the probe into station 1. Once the probe is inserted, we're going to hit the zeroing button, and then we're going to go to the next step. So now we're on step 2 of 15. In this case, we're going to still be in station 1, and then we're going to zero again. Move to the next step. Request to go to station 2. Go ahead, zeroing. Next step, still in station 2, zeroing. So for each station with the probe, we have the y-axis and the z-axis that need to be zeroed, and that is why there are 2 steps for each position. So here we're going to the next step, station 3, zeroing, again in station 3, zeroing. Next step, station 4, zeroing. Next step, station 4, zeroing. Next step, station 5, zeroing. Next step, station 5, zeroing. Next step, station 6, zeroing. Next step, station 6, zeroing. Now the next 3 steps, step 13, 14, and 15, all we need to do is select the zeroing button, step, select zeroing button, step, select zeroing button, step. We'll be back to step 1. We can go ahead, replace the probe, unlock the steady rest, open the doors completely, remove the master, place it into the slides, slide back into the holding area, close the door, and you are complete and ready to measure.